So I posted my birth story for baby number 7 not too long ago, and it did really well. So I thought that I would go ahead and tell all my birth stories, and I'm going to make a series of it, put it into a playlist. But I feel like before I can tell my birth stories, I have to start at the beginning. I want to tell the story of how I decided to have so many children, like what led me up to that point. So I'm going to tell that story today. And to do that, we got to start at the beginning. So even when I was a little girl, people would ask me, are you going to get married and have kids someday? And I would tell them, no. No, I am not going to have children. I am not going to get married. Like, no, I'm not doing that. And I did not want to have children. I met my husband and he knew I did not want to have children. I got on birth control right away. So we got married, still on birth control. And I actually wanted my husband to get a vasectomy. And he did not want to do that because we were very young and he thought maybe he would change his mind and felt like maybe he wanted children someday. So he did not want to go down that alley and do that. Back then, being young, not knowing what I was really doing, I was going to Planned Parenthood and they had me on a birth control. I never had any trouble with that birth control at all whatsoever. I loved it. Never had any trouble with it. And then they switched me to a new birth control. Absolutely terrible, horrible experience. I was sick all the time. I had like abdominal pain. I was gaining weight. I had worked with women that told me that they went on birth control and they gained all this weight. And I was like, yeah, sure. That's just an excuse. Like, I'm sure it wasn't the birth control. That didn't really happen until I was on birth control and I saw that it really did happen. Like, nothing that I did, I could lose weight. I could not. And I was like in the best shape of my life. Like I was working out, I was eating right, and I could not lose weight. I gained about 35 pounds being on that birth control, and I was miserable. So I decided to go off of it, and I stopped taking it. And I felt better like immediately after getting off of it. I felt so much better. But 2 months later, my period was a couple days late. And I remember telling one of the girls I worked with, I'm like, I'm late. I really hope I am not pregnant. I had better not be pregnant. And my period just did not come back. So I took a pregnancy test and I did not want to look at it. I'm like, I'm not looking at it. I can't look at it. So my husband went in the bathroom and looked at it, and I can still remember the look on his face when he came out of the bathroom, and he's like, it's positive. And I just cried and cried and cried. And I'm just like, my life is over. And I just cried because I knew that if I had kids, the life that I had was over forever. That my life would now be about children and not about me, which was selfish, but it was true. But I made an appointment to go get my blood tested, and I was still hopeful that it was going to come up negative. But I got my blood tested and I was positive that I was pregnant. So I found out like at 7 weeks. 7 weeks is when the blood test came back that it was positive. So yeah, after that, my life completely changed. It completely changed to never be the same ever again. And once I had my first baby, I fell in love. After I had him, I fell in love. And everything changed after that. And then 6 months later, I got pregnant again and we had our second son. So I had never planned on having this many children ever, but I am extremely happy that I did. I feel so blessed. I would not change my life in any way. I guess I'm very thankful that I was switched onto that other birth control, because if I never went off that birth control, I would not have had my first son and I would maybe not have any of my children at all. So I am very thankful for that. After getting as sick as I was on that birth control, I would never go on birth control again. And definitely not worth it. I was not on it for a very long period of time and it made me very sick. So yeah, it's a short story, but I felt like I needed to tell it of why I went from not wanting to have any children at all to currently be pregnant with baby number 8. So that is all for today, and I will see you later.